It's a burning fire in my soul. We can all use more love to save the world. And if you feel that joy in your heart, hold on, don't let it part. This is Nature Ellis, and you're tuned into Big Stone Television with the vision.
A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Big Stone Television. Today, as you know, we continue the series of the legends, those that have gone too soon. Now we're into a platform where we're bigging up and remembering those forgotten heroes or the unsung heroes of yesteryear, the one who worked through blood, sweat and tears, the one who helped to make reggae music what it has become today. Today, we're blessed to be talking about one of our greats, Augustus Pablo. The music of Augustus Pablo, created for its moment and somehow eternally right for each moment since, says Ian McCann. Born in Kingston on the 21st of June 1953, Horace Swaby did not come from a musical background, but is one of the most influential and important figures in musical history. And as Augustus Pablo, he evolved a style whose reverberations would sound far outside the confines of reggae music. His father was an accountant, and one of his clients was Mrs Sonia Pottinger, proprietor of the Gay Feet musical empire. And Pablo recalled her giving him a dub plate of Ken Boothe, Lady with the Starlight. I had it in my house a year before it came out. He would practice on the family piano in his comfortable middle-class home and also built his own guitar, used fishing line for strings. I just loved the sound of music, all kind of music. Just music was inside me from early days. He first recorded for Coxsone Dodd at Studio One in the early 70s. Coxsone never really put them out. 3 organ instrumentals. One was Moving Away. Me have an idea upon it and just play it. And 2 original rhythms. Sylvan Morris and Larry Marshall supervised the sessions. This was just before Herman, Real Rock, Swing Easy. We did love them tune there, said Augustus Pablo. Herman Chinroy had been using a name he had found in a Mexican magazine to credit instrumental releases on his Aquarius label, believing that the enigmatic Augustus Pablo pseudonym gave the records a mysterious feel. In 1971, the young Horace Swaby was in the Aquarius record shop with a melodica that had been lent to him by the daughter of a family friend. Herman asked him if he could play the instrument and was so moved by the sound emanating from Horace melodica that he immediately booked studio time at Randy's Studio 17 for the following week. This historic first session produced Iggy Iggy, a version to the Eptones' Why Did You Leave, and on this, and subsequent releases such as The Red Sea and East of the River Nile, the pair established a sound that would dominate reggae for years to come. Horace Swaby actually became Augustus Pablo, and the music that he created would forever convey the depth of mystery that Herman had intended the Augustus Pablo name to portray. Pablo using the name was never a problem, said Herman Chin Roy. The following year, Pablo moved on to work with Clive Chin, an old school friend from Kingston College. Clive had gone straight into the family business at Randy's after leaving KC, and Java, a Pablo melodica instrumental with harmonies from the Chosen Few, was a huge hit and was voted top instrumental record for 1972. Further version of the Java rhythm ensued, and Clive and Pablo then followed these with one of the most accomplished long-playing sets ever made. This is Augustus Pablo. Over the past years, reggae has generated a trend in and around Jamaica and other parts of the world. Today, the type of sound which the younger generation digs is the rebel rap music which is here now. This is Augustus Pablo. It was King Tubby who realized that the melodica was at its most haunting when played in minor keys, and it was at Tubby's prompting that Pablo's Far East signature sound was born. Tubby's is my brother. He buys xylophone for me. He did show me certain things, and him come like the man who passed the music. Just say in a them type of key there, says Augustus Pablo. In 1972, Pablo began to produce records for his Hot Stuff and Rockers label. But his first self-production, Kid Ralph, came out on Panthers, a Dynamic Sound subsidiary label. The first release on Pablo's legendary Rockers label was Skankin' Easy, a cut to a tune originally featured in Fiddler on the Roof that the Soul Vendors had adapted a few years previously at Studio One, a Swing Easy. He was to return to Bedford Road rhythms for many of his greatest releases, not out of any lack of inspiration, but as part of his vision of expanding the myriad possibilities inherent in these tunes. The first records not sell much. We'd only press 100, then 200, then 300 at a time, said Augustus Pablo. But reworking or doing over these musical templates became more and more popular as the decade progressed, and the direction that Pablo had taken in 1972-73 was later carried to its inevitable conclusion by Bonnie Striker Lee, the Hookim brothers, Joseph Hookim at Channel One, and Joe Gibbs and Errol Thompson as the Mighty Two. As well as recording for his own label, Pablo also cut countless classic sides from many other producers, including two different versions of Lee Scratch Perry classic Fever rhythm entitled Hot and Cold, Fat Baby for Keith Hudson, and bass and drum versions and Bells of Death for Derek Harriott. Pablo's name and the concept of dub was first introduced to an international audience in 1975 when Jacob Miller sung Baby I Love You, so over Pablo Cassava Piece rhythm from 1973, which Tubby then took apart and rebuilt as King Tubby's Meet Rockers Uptown on the B-side. The Tubby version was promoted to the A-side when Island Record released the record in London, and the music press belatedly began to sit up and take notice of this starting new phenomenon. 2 years later, a selection of Tubby's B-side for Pablo were collected together for the epochal King Tubby's Meet Rockers Uptown album. This set has no equal. If you want to know what dub is all about, what it means, and perhaps most importantly of all, what it meant nearly 35 years ago, then there's no better place to start than King Tubby's Meet Rockers Uptown. Originally released in Brad Asburn, New York-based Clock Tower label, this faultless collection has never been out of press since 1977 and has never been bettered. First LP me put out, me want Tubbies to mix a dub LP in stereo, but I see dub differently from how everybody else see it. Me no invent dub. A world class of us together drawing out the rhythm and just echo. So them call it dub. But some people give different meaning for dub. Me as a man who try to do something new, me not follow nothing, said Augustus Pablo. Over the next 2 decades, as each successive wave of musical style and fashion ebbed and flowed, Pablo continued to make music completely unmoved by whatever happened to be this week's flavor of the month. Fads came and fads went out, but Pablo's transcendental releases on his rocker and message label were always timeless and full of a power beyond here and now that at times seemed to stretch into infinity. I try to create in everything I do, in every move I make, not only music alone, in everything I do. I'm not in the studio every day. I don't burn out a lot of energy that way. I turn it into myself and the works. I just lock off playing for other people. Comes a time when you draw in pump producers. Anything they can do, we can do better. Most of the producers, well, it's really musician who makes the music. They build up a different vibe. Me name musician and I'm only name producer. So me just start producing myself, said Augustus Pablo. But Augustus Pablo refused to take the credit that rightly belonged to him. People call it successful. I just doing the works, you know. He died on the 18th of May 1999 of myasthenia gravis, a rare nervous disorder, at a tragically early age. And while his death had visibly deteriorated over the last 10 years of his life, his music continued to be an evangelical confession of faith. A deeply religious man, many of his records cite Haile Selassie as co-producer, but Pablo's deep knowledge and understanding of Jamaican musical history form another cornerstone of his work. The spirituality of his music was underpinned, at times, by deep, dark rhythms, and its intangibility was both unprecedented and unparalleled in popular music. His Rockers International Record Shop on Orange Street continues to this day to supply the rockers in downtown Kingston, and Pablo's music will live everywhere forevermore. Augustus Pablo, born Horace Swaby. What a man, what a music, what a legend. Pablo has worked tirelessly over the years, practicing his craft, originating his skills, and doing the work that must be done to bring to perfection, to bring some of this real music to the fore. People love Augustus Pablo. Matter of fact, when I started this series, a number of my fans requested music and requested me to do this series on the legendary Augustus Pablo. Real rock, swing easy. Pablo saying love them tune there. But guess what? His fans all over the world love them tune there even more. So from his first record, Iggy Iggy, a version to the Uptones, Why Did You Leave, was unparalleled. Augustus Pablo, we just want to take this time out and thank you. Thank you so much for the work that you have given. Thank you so much for the blood, sweat, and tears that you have put out in your music. Thank you so much for whatever you went through to become this great instrumentalist that you have become. My condolences goes out to your family at this time, because we know, Pablo, that you've gone too soon. But we're very happy that you have left with us a plethora of music, great reggae music that we'll be laughing and dancing to for a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a pleasure in researching this icon and bringing one of Jamaica's best that is gone too soon, Augustus Pablo, to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now is the time for you to do so. Thank you so much for watching.